Woo, these dudes got that block on smash, man. They're on the tables, swinging their shirt around, dude, like a helicopter, bro.
The SRT is in position.
That's exactly what they call them out here, too, the SRT, Special Response Team.
The cell doors can be opened only from the secured surveillance room. That takes time. The situation escalates.
See, out here, they got helmets, though. They put helmets on these dudes, bro.
The prisoners are going after each other.
Welcome back to the W Number. Tonight we're gonna do a reaction video to Texas State Prison, the most barbaric Texas State prison there is, according to this video. And let me tell you something, I watched some of it already and I think it's pretty spot on. I think overall, if you look at all the different prison systems throughout the United States, you're gonna find a lot of similarities, you know, between the way the politics are within the prison system, among convicts, and the administration, and how they run their prisons. And I think that looking at this video and watching it, we're going to find that Massachusetts is pretty much the same thing as every other state when it comes to how the prisons run and what's going on behind the walls, because humans are very similar in nature. You put a group of human beings, men, all together in the same place, you're going to see that they all react very similar every single time. And it just matter of how the administration is running the prison, what they're kind of creating as far as an atmosphere and what they call a climate out here on a unit. So if you go on a block, they're going to say we have a climate issue if things are turning up, right? So we're going to see what the climate's like in Texas. Without further ado, let's get into this.
Murder. I'm here for murder. Yeah. So I was on the news. I made the news. So when someone makes the news, they bring them back here in administrative custody, so that people mad at me can't touch me or hurt me or any kind of way like that, you know.
Jesse really was in the news. It was a sad headline. Pensioner killed by man for no reason in the middle of the street.
I got drunk, and then I blacked out, and I assaulted some woman. She died later on because she was in a coma, and that pushed the charge up to a murder. So I'm in here for murder.
Now, the 21-year-old has plenty of time to think.
My family, you know, I disappointed them. A lot of people back here, you know what I'm saying, the disappointments to certain people. And that's another thing, that's another hard thing to get over, you know what I'm saying?
Coping with their deeds, their crimes, that is what drives so many of the inmates in solitary to the brink of insanity. The so-called trustees in these group detention areas get more to do than the isolation prisoners.
See, that's the difference right there. There's one major difference that we're going to talk about. Trustees. We do not have trustees in Massachusetts. There's no such thing. They call them tier runners or block workers, right? And what their job is to clean up the tier, right? To sweep and mop, clean the tables, clean the phones, clean the showers, and things like that, right? They're, you know, sometimes they have them cleaning the CO's bathroom and the CO's desk and the CO's office and things like that. But never do they sit there and jeff with the COs like they're their best friends. What does a trustee really mean? A trustee, someone who could be trusted by the cops, right? We are still not trusted by the cops. Tier runners on our in our prison system, they're not trusted by the cops any extra amount than the regular convicts, the people that run the tier. Like, there's no difference other than they got a job and maybe they've been around a little bit longer on that same unit without getting lugged going to the hole. But there is tier runners that are snitches and that are no good. And you could always tell the difference because they'll have all these extra privileges, you know, tons of books and stamps coming out of nowhere, all these like gadgets and things that people haven't had for a long time, like grandfathered in, and they probably haven't even been around that long. You know, to have all these things and have it be legit and not be something that the IPS gave you for, you know, good behavior or whatever the hell they're saying they give it to you for, right? So there's a lot of differences between a trustee and a tier runner. Let's see what they say about them here.
Trustees are considered less prone to violence and may therefore carry out relief work in the detention center. Change of pace, yes, but not always of the pleasant kind.
The worst part of the job is having to clean up the single cells. A lot of them are, very psychotic.
On medications and stuff, and when they act out, we're the ones that get to go.
Yeah, I mean, they throw feces and blood on the wall. I mean, we have to go in there and clean it up.
Nevertheless, the two inmates do the trustee job voluntarily.
Out here we have workers called hazmat workers that go and clean up any type of blood or bodily fluids like feces or urine. The trustees out there, I'm assuming they're given all different types of jobs, all the jobs that not real convicts want to do. Maybe they are real convicts and I'm out here talking crazy about them. But, for the most part, these dudes look like, the inmates of the population and not the convicts.
See it as a chance, as a first step to get away from drugs. Drugs is what got them in here.
From the time I was 19 years old up until 2 years ago, I'm 30 right now, I didn't touch anything stronger than aspirin. I was completely sober. I was working on an oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico, and I was married. And then my wife at the time said that we lost our baby at 8 months. And so I just got really depressed and decided to start doing heroin.
Manufacturing, delivery of methamphetamines and GHB. So I was selling it to make a living. I mean, I was doing it and I was selling it to support my habit and live that lifestyle. So it's not worth it.
You see the differences between those two stories? Like this dude here, he went into his backstory, how he's just a normal human being and he got wrapped up in the drugs and now he's in prison. This other dude, he defines himself as a meth manufacturer. I feel like we could learn something from that there as ex-convicts and people out here in the real world. When we're defining ourselves and when someone asks us, who we are, what we did, why we ended up in prison, explain yourself as a human being first before you get into the crime. Don't define yourself as a criminal. Just saying.
Cleaning in the isolation cell tract, often running the gauntlet. Any second, something can come flying through the feeder port.
These guys back here, I mean, we'll clean up some messes. There's this one inmate who would write with blood on the wall and then with feces on the wall. Bad stuff. Or they'll try to throw.
Yeah, you can tell these dudes ain't really like that, man. These dudes ain't convicts like that. He's calling other inmates and just acting like he's outside of them. You know what I mean? Whereas like a convict's gonna be talking to these dudes behind the door like they're human beings, and that's probably why they don't get shit thrown at them like these dudes.
Feces or urine on you. So a lot of times you have to be aware of all the cells around you and make sure that, the door doesn't open and somebody's not there and they're going to throw something on you.
The trustees often get targeted.
Yeah, so if they're getting targeted, they're probably no good, all around. I mean, you're going to have those outliers, trustees. Anybody given that name trustee, I feel like, man, I wouldn't even want to be called a trustee. I know that.
Actually, the other prisoners should at least be glad to meet the trustees at mealtime. But even the food causes trouble, because for most, it's not enough.
Oh, chow time. I've already dropped the market too, but I'm going to get by with it.
There you go, man. Yeah.
Sometimes they want extra food. Not
See, out here, if you're in the hole, the COs are passing out the food, right? If you're a convict and you're passing out that food and there's extra trays on there and you do not give those extra trays to them convicts, then you deserve to get beat up. I'm sorry.
sometimes, most of the time.
Yeah.
So if trustee won't give, we said don't give. Trustee has no right to give extra. So when he doesn't give, they think that that's him not giving and try to throw the tray on them.
Yeah.
Try to throw piss on them.
Piss or feces or yeah.
Like that.
How he's sitting there siding with the CO. He's sitting there talking to the cameraman like he and the CO are hand in hand. That's not how it goes. Out here, if that dude would get moved on so quick.
meals per day through the feeder port. The cell door definitely remains closed.
we're gonna have to see if this is a medium security or a maximum security facility as this video goes on. What do you think right now? Timestamp that shit and put it in the comments. What you think this facility is? Is this a medium security facility or a maximum security facility?
You want special trays, Willis? Yeah. All right. Cool.
I mean, a lot of people in here keep it real nasty. You know, they don't really clean as often. They don't care. I mean, this is the last stop of the jail for all the worst of the worst.
Dallas County Jail.
The worst of the worst, huh? Like, this dude is in prison. He's got drug addiction. He committed a crime. He went to prison like every single other person in there, but they're dirty. They don't keep clean. These people. It's like you could tell this dude all off rip is straight sucking cops off.
Jail. Riots and raids around the clock. Reservoir for criminals and murderers.
They say I shot someone through a door, killed him on the other side.
Tamarick, a murderer, is being sentenced today. Quickly. Very quickly.
I'm asking you if 25 was ever recommended.
No.
They said he's getting sentenced today quickly, very quickly. Like, why is he getting sentenced quickly? Like, I feel like that might be against the law.
How long will he have to stay behind bars? We will find out soon enough. Dallas County Jail.
How long you think he's getting, guys?
One of the toughest jails in the world. The special response team is positioned for another raid in the North Tower. The suspicion, a cell phone is in there.
Yeah. See, in Massachusetts, all those dudes standing there watching, they would have had word out to everybody quicker than you would fucking blink an eye. Like, they would have been sending word like, yo, tell these dudes over here that these dudes are coming through. Tell these dudes, tell the block, tell them they're piling up in the hallway right now, dude. Be on point. Be on point. There's a raid coming through. There's a shakedown coming. Shakedown coming. Be on point.
We have a lot of guys, they still, do dope, they run the dope houses from inside the jails, a lot of kingpins. So it is an important item inside the jail. This right here is a barely rotted tank. You're definitely gonna have to get control of this tank.
Woo, these dudes got that block on smash, man. They're on the tables, swinging their shirt around, dude, like a helicopter, bro.
The SRT is in position.
That's exactly what they call them out here, too, the SRT, Special Response Team.
The cell doors can be opened only from the secured surveillance room. That takes time. The situation escalates.
See, out here, they got helmets, though. They put helmets on these dudes, bro.
The prisoners are going after each other.
That was quick. See, that's the paintball guns that they wanted out here. In county jails out here, they do have those paintball guns. In Worcester County, I remember when they would do the move team, they would come in and hit you with those pepper balls. But the COs out here, they want to have them on the unit at all times so that they could run in and shoot people. But as we know, there is no supervision for these types of things. And before you know it, mark my words, if we gave COs out here those guns, there would be many lawsuits and many assaults happening.
The prisoners know once SRT rushes into the cell, showtime is over. They don't stand a chance against pepperball guns and the special unit. The team leads the prisoners away.
I don't know. I've seen some real stuff happening, and they bring in the shields, they bring in these chemical agents that'll burn the skin off a freaking dog. But we went up against it several times, and that's to say they have canisters they could throw into the unit. They got all kinds of riot gear. They have the orange shotguns with bean bags in them. They do have weapons, so don't get that twisted. And they'll call in the state police or the National Guard if need be. And I've seen that happen several times.
Search for the phone starts. It has to be somewhere.
One of the guys that's in the tank, his girlfriend's mother is the one that called and said that he's harassing, she the one that tipped us off that it was a cell phone in there.
The officers take.
That's how they caught him, bro. Somebody in there was calling, probably asking for their money. Like, yo, your friend owes me money. Your boyfriend owes me money. You better have him send that shit or he's going to get hurt. But now dudes are going to find this out and that dude's probably going to get hurt anyway. So calling in for a family member like that, probably not the best thing to do.
Take everything apart. Go through everything. Mattresses, clothes, blankets. But other than an unfinished plastic stabbing weapon, they find nothing. No trace of the phone.
That did not look like a stabbing weapon to me. The end was curved and it was hooked and it was not very sharp and it was very thin. That thing couldn't do damage to anything.
In the game Inmates against SRT, there is a clear winner today.
It's a hit and miss. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, but we win more than we lose. But we'll eventually find it.
Sergeant Whittem on suspicion. The phone was passed into another cell block. The officers will search every.
Ooh, I wonder if I was right. If all those dudes standing in the hallways got word down to them real quick and they got rid of that phone because, you know, just saying, man, smarten up.
Every inch of the Dallas County Jail until they find it, no matter where it is.
That's a force.
Outside, it's night. Inside in the isolation cells, time of day doesn't matter. Estevan hasn't seen the sun or the moon for a long time now. He's convinced of his innocence.
They say I shot someone through a door, killed him on the other side. The person on the other side of the door was shaking the door trying to get in at 3 a.m. in the morning. But there's 5 people in the room. Everybody took off running. They only got me. You know, they got a video of the person that did this running out the room, but they can't find him. They don't know nothing about him. So since they got me, they just, the guy with the tattoos on his face, he did it.
He has served 10 years for a drug offense. Now, it could be a life sentence.
I thought in Texas they had those, you know, stand your ground laws where you could shoot through a door if you felt like there was an intruder coming into the house. But I guess maybe rattling the door might not be enough to get all that.
Court date at Dallas County Jail. More than 200 inmates have their day in court today. Tamarick has been in custody for 2 years, waiting for this moment.
Step on out, put your hands on your back. Let me see you, Miss Man, before you step up. All right, hands behind your back, we're going to take you to court.
An underground tunnel leads into the court building. Escape out of the question. And like everything else in Dallas County Jail, the inmates have hours of waiting ahead of them.
Yo, that's the worst part about going through the trial is that you're in those holding tanks from friggin' 7 o'clock. Well, actually, sorry. They get you up out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. You'll be down in the booking cells in the jail or the prison from 5 o'clock until about 7:30, 8 o'clock when transport comes to get you. Then they strip search you, throw the shackles and the handcuffs on, and then bring you out into a rickety van. You get in the van, drive the court, which might be hour or a half hour drive, dropping off everybody and their mother at all these different places. Then you get to court and you go into court. They change your waist chains and shackles and they put you in a holding cell until your lawyer comes see you. Then you go up to court. You're there until maybe 4:30. Then you wait till the van comes and picks you back up, change the shackles back over. You get on the van, you get back to the jail, and you're waiting in the booking cell down there until whatever time, and then they get you back into your unit, and it could be 6, 7, 8 o'clock at nighttime, maybe even later until you're back in. So from 5 o'clock in the morning until like 8 at night, you're out there just getting shuffled around from one place to the other. It's the worst.
Okay.
I came here young.
Not to mention those damn court sandwiches. Oh my God, those are the worst sandwiches. Actually, you know what? Some courts, shout out to those courts that have great food, like meatball subs, BLTs, tuna fish. You never know what you're gonna get at court. It could be a good sandwich, could make the whole day kind of worth it. And if you can get somebody else's sandwich that's going home, whoop whoop, you're in luck, especially if you're in the box when you're going to court.
I got no patience now. I got patience now. I know how to just chill. Think to myself, get in my own zone. I'm a little nervous though.
Judge Holmes, is about to sentence the 19-year-old.
There's nothing worse than not knowing what's going to happen in court.
Tamarack's only chance to avoid a lifelong prison sentence, a plea bargaining with the state. Should the deal fall through,
he's walking up to the gauntlet, man. Like, he's walking up there. They could take this man's life away from him. He still has a chance right now. Right now, as we look at him right there at that moment, he still had a small sliver of a chance, maybe. But, you know, that's all up to this judge, man, and what they feel like doing to you. They could do anything with your life that they want to at that point. They can do anything that they want. Remember that. Your life is no longer your own as soon as you commit that crime. You could get a life sentence for anything. So just be careful, man.
Only other option is trial by jury, and they generally show no sympathy for a gang member. Tamarack cannot afford a lawyer, and therefore he has a public defender.
That's the worst
Mr.
part right
Jackson,
there.
you're before the court for an admonishment. It's my understanding that the state's first plea bargain offer was 25 years. In other words, in exchange for a plea of guilty from you, the state would recommend to the court that you be sentenced to a term of 25 years in the penitentiary. Was that your understanding?
No, ma'am.
All right. Was that plea recommendation offered to you at any point since you've been incarcerated?
It was recommended to me 20.
I'm asking you if 25 was ever recommended.
No.
All right, Mr. Broccoli.
That was
Mr. Broccoli. They said Mr. Broccoli. Mr. Broccoli cheese?
The state's first offer was 25. And then you said what?
No.
All right, you wanted 20, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Mr. Broccoli has communicated to you that the state has reduced their offer and they've agreed to recommend to the court that you be sentenced to 20 years. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you said that you wanted 17. Is that right?
Yes.
Ooh, that judge is not happy. Woo.
Okay. Is the state going to offer 17?
No, Your Honor.
Is the state offering 17 today?
No.
Is the state going to offer 17 at any time, ever?
No.
Okay. So that means that you can accept the 20 years or we can set this case for trial.
I'm willing to accept the 20 today.
All right. Very well.
Damn, that man just signed up for a 20-year sentence. But when he goes to trial, he's got a 50-50 chance of getting 0 years and a 50-50 chance of getting the rest of his natural life in prison. What do? They force you to take those plea bargains a lot. Man, I feel bad. 20 years, that man right there, right here. He's not going to see the outside for 20 years.
Finds you guilty, punishment is assessed at 20 years in the penitentiary. It is therefore the order, judgment, and decree of this court that you be taken by the sheriff of Dallas County and by her safely held for transport to an authorized receiving agency of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, wherein you shall be confined for a period of 20 years or until this sentence is otherwise discharged according to law. Good luck.
Wow. I wonder if this judge, this lady right here, ever put much thought into that number before she gave it to this man, this young man. I wonder if she put much thought into it. I mean, I know this young man didn't put much thought into his crime, which goes with his age, right in line with it. Where does society actually benefit in this situation? Do they benefit from another man coming home after a 20-year sentence, a life of imprisonment, learning how to do crime and nothing else? Or a 10-year sentence and they place him in a facility like Prisonland in California where they rehabilitate this person into another person, a person that has some type of skills in life, has some type of hope that there is compassion out there. There's some type of willingness to help a person in need rather than just throw them away and forget about them and say, well, on to the next one. 20 years for you too, sir. 10 years for you, sir. 15 years for you, sir. And then, these years add up, especially for taxpayers. Taxpayers pay every single penny of that 10 years, 20 years, 15 years. They pay for that. Don't get that twisted. You pay for that. Every single person who pays taxes pays for people to be imprisoned for many, many, many years. And they don't pay a little bit. They pay a good amount. And that goes, for lawsuits that prisoners file when they get assaulted by officers, lawsuits for prisoners who do not get medical care, lawsuits for prisoners who are put in situations where they need specialized care, and they don't get it. There's so many different things that you're paying for and you just don't even realize it. Man, think about this. What do we need as society to really truly benefit us?
Real time. A 2-minute hearing. A 20-year sentence.
You hear that? 2 minutes, 20 years.
That, too, is Dallas County Jail. The hope for salvation comes true for only a very few. In the South Tower, Officer Nichols' shift is ending.
Y'all guys, rack up.
Alone as a woman with 64 hardened criminals. Every day without a serious incident is a good day for Officer Nichols.
What was a good day? No fights, nobody injured. I didn't have to send anybody to the nurse for injuries out in the rec area. It was actually, today has been a very good day. They've been quiet. They've been behaved.
Guys, that is Texas State Prison, and everything that goes on there is very similar. That is Texas County Jail. That is the most barbarous county jail in Texas. And I've seen worse out here. So at the end of the day, we've just watched a Texas County jail compared to a Massachusetts County jail, which I wish we could do one on either Worcester County or Bristol County, one of these really armpit-like counties, because the counties out here, I would say, are worse. I really believe that some of these counties out here are a little worse. The open gym in Bristol County, geez, man, I'm gonna do a video on the open gym in Bristol County, and you're gonna be like, what the hell? Like, it is crazy. Like, it's people are dying from fentanyl overdoses, overdosing all the time and not dying. I mean, like, there's serious things, like people getting hurt, very, very seriously hurt, but they're catching cases for very minor fights. When you push all these people into a little confined space and give them nothing to do, like, you're gonna have fights, and then you throw them in jail for longer for that? It doesn't make sense, like, the way they're running things. But yeah, anyways, man, that is it. That's Texas County Jail. And I feel like Massachusetts is a little worse, so we figured that out today. I hope everybody enjoyed this little informative video. I appreciate everybody showing up this year. 2025 is going to be a major, major year. We're going to change everything. We're going to reinvent the dollar bill, because this is what we're going to do here on the W Number Podcast. We're turning the W number from a negative into a positive. Man, join me in my channel in making a difference. It only costs $2.99. I put up posts every single day that help with motivation, inspiration, knowledge, wisdom, understanding of life in general. And I love this. I love it. This is social media. This is the mission. This is the wave. I'm going to college for it. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So be here with me on the W Number Podcast as we rise, we grow, we thrive, and we are going to do it together. That's a fact. 2025 is our year, baby. W Number.